You stop halfway up the stairs, catch your breath, feel pressure in your chest or a cramp in your calf, and tell yourself it is just getting older. That is how arterial disease hides. By the time many people notice something is wrong, plaque may have been building for decades, and the numbers get hard to ignore with age. CDC data show diagnosed heart disease rises from 9.0% in adults 55 to 64 to 14.3% in adults 65 to 74, and 24.2% in adults 75 and older. Those are only the diagnosed cases. Many more people have silent plaque, high blood pressure, high blood sugar, or endothelial dysfunction, and do not know it yet. What makes this so dangerous is that it rarely looks dramatic at first. It looks like getting winded sooner. It looks like unusual fatigue. It looks like leg pain when walking that gets blamed on arthritis, sciatica, or stiffness. It looks like discomfort in the jaw, neck, shoulder, upper back, or even the stomach instead of classic chest pain. In women, older adults, and people with diabetes, heart trouble can be especially easy to miss. And the cost is not just a future heart attack. Poor artery health can steal your walking speed, your stamina, your balance, and your confidence. It can affect blood flow to the brain and is linked with stroke risk. Better cardiovascular health is also associated with lower risk of dementia. So this is not just about lab numbers. It is about being able to keep up with your grandkids, carry groceries, do yard work, travel, and stay independent. There is one important line to draw. If you have chest pain at rest, chest pressure lasting more than a few minutes, shortness of breath with nausea, cold sweats, or pain spreading to the arm, back, neck, or jaw, that is emergency care. That is not the time for beet juice or oatmeal. That is the time to call 911. Now for the part most people are searching for. Can damage, already done, be reversed? The honest answer is more hopeful than most people think, but not magical. You may not be able to melt away advanced plaque overnight, and foods alone are not proven to literally clear severe blockages. But you can improve artery health, stabilize plaque, slow progression, and in some cases, modestly reverse aspects of atherosclerosis through diet and lifestyle. A lot of this starts with the endothelium, the thin inner lining of your blood vessels. When blood pressure, smoking, high blood sugar, or oxidized LDL damage that lining, it stops working well. One big casualty is nitric oxide. That is the natural signal that helps arteries relax, stay flexible, and resist clotting and inflammation. When nitric oxide falls, arteries get stiffer and more vulnerable. The encouraging part is that endothelial function can improve, and food is one of the tools that helps it recover. The strongest evidence is not for one miracle food. It is for a Mediterranean-style, plant-forward way of eating. That means extra virgin olive oil, nuts, beans, lentils, vegetables, fruit, and whole grains like oats and barley, while keeping ultra-processed food, processed meat, and high-saturated fat foods low. In high-risk older adults, Mediterranean diet studies found that adding extra virgin olive oil or nuts reduced major cardiovascular events. Long-term Mediterranean eating has also been linked with less progression of carotid atherosclerosis. So the first step is not hunting for one superfood. It is changing the pattern of what lands on your plate most days. Start with extra virgin olive oil. In Mediterranean-style studies, intake often lands around 20 to 50 grams a day. Why does it help? It is rich in monounsaturated fat and polyphenols. Those compounds may reduce oxidation of LDL, improve endothelial function, and nitric oxide signaling, and calm inflammation. The practical move is simple. Use extra virgin olive oil as your default fat instead of butter, shortening, or heavily processed oils in packaged foods. This is one of the easiest swaps you can make at home. Next, add a small daily handful of walnuts, about 1 ounce or 28 to 30 grams. Walnuts provide polyunsaturated fats, including ALA, and they have been shown to improve endothelial function in some trials. A meta-analysis of 49 randomized trials found walnut intake lowered LDL cholesterol by about 5.68 milligrams per deciliter, total cholesterol by 6.39, and triglycerides by 6.24. Those are not fantasy numbers. They are modest, real improvements that add up over time, especially when walnuts replace chips, cookies, or processed snacks. Then bring in the fiber tools. Oats and barley are especially valuable because of a soluble fiber called beta-glucan. Most cholesterol-lowering advice uses about 3 grams a day of oat beta-glucan from foods. Old-fashioned oatmeal, steel-cut oats, oat bran cereal, and barley soup are easy ways to get it. Beta-glucan works by trapping bile acids in the gut, which forces the body to use cholesterol to make more bile. In plain language, it helps pull cholesterol traffic out of circulation. Psyllium husk is another useful option if you want a stronger fiber assist. Research often uses about 7 to 12 grams a day, usually split before meals. Psyllium is a viscous soluble fiber that lowers LDL by reducing cholesterol absorption and increasing bile acid excretion. It can also help with fullness and sometimes modestly help glucose control. Just be smart with it. Take it with plenty of water, and do not take it too close to medications because it can affect absorption. Beans and lentils deserve more attention than they get. Lentils, black beans, chickpeas, and cannellini beans bring soluble fiber, steadier blood sugar, and more fullness than refined starches. They also help crowd out red and processed meat, which matters if your usual meals revolve around sausage, deli meat, burgers, or fast food. You do not need perfection here. A serving daily or most days is a strong move for long-term artery health. Ground flaxseed is another quiet powerhouse. Studies often use around 30 grams a day, and a practical start is 1 to 2 tablespoons mixed into oatmeal or yogurt. Flax gives you fiber and ALA omega-3, and research shows it may help lower blood pressure. In people with hypertension, one meta-analysis found flaxseed reduced systolic blood pressure by 8.64 millimeters of mercury and diastolic pressure by 4.87. That matters because high blood pressure constantly scrapes and stresses the artery lining. For nitric oxide support, look to nitrate-rich vegetables like arugula, spinach, beets, lettuce, and celery. Your body can convert dietary nitrate into nitric oxide, which helps blood vessels relax. This is one reason vegetables can make arteries more functional again. But keep your expectations realistic. The mechanism is real, yet trial results are mixed, especially in older adults. So think of these vegetables as supportive foods for vessel flexibility, not as plaque erasers. A little high cocoa dark chocolate or cocoa flavonols may also help blood vessel responsiveness, but this is not a free pass to eat candy bars. The benefit is tied to flavonols, not sugar and junk ingredients. If you use cocoa, think small and sensible. Food works best when daily habits stop adding fresh damage. Smoking and tobacco exposure injure the endothelium. Poor sleep, inactivity, high blood sugar, chronic stress, excess sodium, refined carbohydrates, and ultra-processed foods all push in the wrong direction. So the goal is two-sided. Feed the artery what helps it heal, and stop pounding it with what keeps it inflamed. If you want one simple plan for this week, do this. Replace your main cooking fat with extra virgin olive oil. Eat oatmeal or barley once a day. Add 1 serving of beans or lentils most days. Have a small handful of walnuts daily. Put a pile of leafy greens on your plate. especially arugula or spinach. And if you notice chest discomfort with exertion, shortness of breath, or leg pain that stops with rest, get it checked instead of calling it old age. Your arteries are living tissue, not fixed plumbing. They respond to what you do, repeatedly. Maybe not overnight, and maybe not perfectly, but they do respond. That means the story is not over just because you're in your 60s or 70s. The next meal matters. The next walk matters. The next week matters. And small changes, repeated long enough, can protect far more than your heart. They can help protect your independence.